Hey, everybody, in this episode of the GH Report, man, there's so much to talk about, and come at me, because I know you want those Jason and Sam lovers out there. I'm going to rebuke all of you in just a moment.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
It's going to get testy in this next little bit of time.
Wait, y'all. Why did Frank say he was going to rebuke y'all like we were in the Church of God in Christ Church? That was hilarious.
I'm rebuking you. Welcome everybody to the GH Report. Of course, this is a show that breaks down all the latest happenings in Port Charles. I'm Frank Moran.
And I'm Carla, Renata, the co-host.
The star of the show. You come for the Carla, you unfortunately have to deal with me. You can like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and of course, we'll have the chat up and running, so feel free to chime in your thoughts about anything in particular in General Hospital or just the show in general. And we'll get right into it.
Yes, let me start it off, honey. The thing that I have been waiting for months. Sam finally admitted that she's still in love with Jason. Like, we didn't know that. We all knew that. But I kind of just needed to hear her say it. And more importantly, they played that music that I know you love to hate, and I was turning cartwheels in my bedroom. Yes, I was. Frank Moran. Happy Go Jackie.
No.
Yes, I was.
This is horrible. Great. We're gonna do this. That means I gotta listen to the song.
Don't be so exasperated. Come on, have a little bit more enthusiasm for Jason and Sam.
No. Well, one, it started off with this earthquake, dealing with the aftershocks of this. I had enough of that episode where Sam was just like pinned against the side of that trailer. I can't, Jason. If I move, it'll fall over.
But wait, I just had to say one thing. Why we got the Young and the Restless behind us?
I don't know. It's got little shenanigans here in the studio.
Shenanigans. Anthony's coming for me.
That's right. Oh man. But so we're dealing with the after effects of this earthquake. In terms of disasters or big events that have hit Port Charles, where is this earthquake stacking up for you?
Okay, so this is the interesting thing. The really interesting thing about all of that is that I think it was Wally Kurt's character, Ned. Yeah. Ned actually said on the air, this is the first time Port Charles has had an earthquake since, and I think it had been like 30 years or something like that. He says, we don't get earthquakes in New York. That's for California and LA. I was like, thank you. Because when I said that last week, people came for me. They were like, they did. People came for me, and they were like, well, there are earthquakes that happen in New York. I'm like, look, I lived in New York for 20 years. I never felt no earthquake. My niece is here from New York. Has there ever been an earthquake in New York since you've been alive? Just say yes or no.
Yeah.
Oh, there has?
Yeah.
Oh, see?
Oh, somebody got it.
And now my face is cracked. Excuse me while I pick it up.
The lovely voice you may have or may not have heard is of Carla's niece, Olivia, visiting from the Big Apple, and is now just basically taking photos of everything that Carla does for the next 24 hours.
Don't put my niece on blast. So anyway.
No, it's great.
So Insty-Who. So yes, Jason.
Insty-Who?
Insty-Who.
I love it.
So Jason and Sam, they got trapped after that earthquake, and she finally admitted that she loved him. I was ecstatic. Could not wait for that moment to happen. But now that it's happened, then there was that awkward moment where, Sam goes to the hospital to check on Drew, and I'm like, oh, dang, is she going to tell him? And then she didn't.
Well, I mean, I guess there was that convenient circumstance where Drew really needed to go talk to Franco. So it just so happened to come with that. Good old My Two Dads shows up to ruins everybody's day with that.
You know they're going to come for you because you don't call him by his name.
Oh, come on. Who would? I think My Two Dads better than just calling him Jim. I can call him Jim, sure.
Okay.
But certainly, I guess if you're going to have Steve Burton back, you're going to have to reunite them. At some point, I just don't care. I find them not interesting as a couple.
Keep love alive. That's what I say. Keep love alive. Don't hate. Don't hate. Congratulate. Keep love alive. James Law Jr. said that earthquakes aren't common in New York, but yes, a few have happened. Well, yes, now I know that. since you have told me, my niece has told me, and the chat room has told me. So now I'm gonna shut up, talk about the earthquakes in Port Charles, New York, and we gonna continue talking about the show.
I was saying is everybody, when we all thought that Drew was really Jason Morgan, everybody's like, oh, we got to get them together. We got to get them together. And then we got them together, and it was Snoozeville. Snoozeville!
With
two.
Sam and
and Jason / Drew at the time. Then all of a sudden we get the real Jason back now. Don't think it's going to be any different. Now we get that Jason with Sam. It's going to be Snoozeville.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
Snoozeville.
No. I disagree with you. It is always fireworks with Jason and Sam. Always fireworks. They always got some adventure. They always working together to solve some kind of issue. I'm telling you, it's about to be off and cracking.
Every flashback they showed when Steve Burton came back as Jason, and we see like some flashback of like, hey, I'm gonna, we're gonna dance, or oh, we're getting a tree. It's like, I just thought, man, I don't want to see more of this stuff. I don't want to see their daily life together. This is terrible. I am not excited in the least.
Okay, well, whatever. I was happy and very excited. Oh, this is what Ned said. He said earthquakes don't happen here in Port Charles. They happen in LA and Japan. That's what he said. So I'm okay. Now I'm not going to talk about earthquakes anymore.
Well, let's just give one quick shout out. The second time you mentioned Ned. How do you like having him as mayor? Imagine you could have had Alexis, but are you liking Ned better as mayor?
No.
No?
No.
You rather would have had Alexis.
Yeah, because at least with Alexis, it would have been, it would have been shenanigans, consequences, and repercussions. You know what I mean? We're not going to get that with Ned. We may get it with Olivia as the first lady. We may get it with Olivia because Olivia is always hopping in, having something to say, spouting out some statistic, and trying to give Ned a little nudge or give him some info to kind of move any kind of little information along that he may be stumped on. So I think if we see any kind of fireworks out of him being mayor, it's going to come from Olivia. It's not going to come from him.
Well, remember those days that Olivia would have like those dream / premonition things?
What happened to that?
I don't know. It's
like
it'd be great
for a minute, it was like
that.
she was seeing bears and all kinds of stuff, and then it just went away. Like all of a sudden, she just didn't have premonitions anymore. Like it's funny that you bring that up because I thought about that. It's not funny, but I thought about that when Nathan died. I'm like, Olivia didn't have no premonition that Nathan was gonna get shot. Like I'm just saying, she was walking around for years talking about I'm having premonitions, or does she only have premonitions when it comes to somebody she's related to?
Maybe.
What they saying in the chat room?
Yeah.
Oh no, Charlie in charge. You didn't want Alexis as mayor? You like Ned as mayor? Oh.
As do I. Yeah. And
okay, wait. I bet Charlie in charge. Did you not want to see Hillary Clinton as president too, because she was a woman, and you wanted to see Donald Trump as president? I'm just interested to know.
What she already said as a woman.
Alexis is a hypocrite. Ned is better. No one died or anything. Why somebody got to die in the earthquake? Earthquakes happen all the time and people don't die.
Well, I know, but if you're gonna do it on a soap opera, you really want to juice up the drama. And there's a few members of that cast you could have just culled.
Okay,
right?
Charlie in charge. I was just interested. Thank you for answering that for me. Ned is a good mayor for the moment. That's what I'm saying, Kelly.
Yeah, I'm down with
for the moment, but I would have. He's okay for the moment, but I would have preferred Alexis just because, like you said, it's a soap opera, and with a soap opera comes drama, and Alexis would have brought the drama in spades with a big old capital D. I'm just saying.
No,
Why are you just exasperated?
No, it's a little bit of Alexis goes a long way in terms of that role. I would have been really exasperated with her as mayor.
I can't.
No, let's just have her. But although I play devil's advocate, I wouldn't have minded her being mayor because that probably would have given us less time for a Julian storyline. Which any chance that we can have to not have her or Julian awkwardly meeting at some place, I'm fine with. Which we'll get to that in a second for one of those weird awkward meetings. Where, of course, we left last week there where we had Oscar and Jocelyn. They're trapped in the freezer.
In the freezer, yes.
Yes. And we get to them just to see them like basically passed out from hypothermia. Oscar almost dies.
I know. I was, for a split sec. So Annie, I get that you wanted to see something big come out of it, and I understand that as a viewer, you kind of want the big disaster to pay off in some kind of way as a viewer. I get that, but I thought they were going to. And when Oscar wasn't coming to right away, I thought they are not going to kill this little boy off.
No, that would have been too dark.
for a split second, I thought they were gonna like kill him off. I was like, oh no, I kind of like Oscar.
Oscar's good. I feel like it gives Drew something, especially if
It
Sam's
gives
going
him
to be
something
leaving
to
him
do.
high and dry.
Yeah.
Something else to focus on. That would have been too much. You get dumped by your wife and your son buys it.
And your son dies from hypothermia.
Not a good week.
Charlie said, Alexis embarrasses all of us women the way she follows the man. Julian, I know, girl. I'm with you on that one. I'm like, if some man tried to kill me, do you think I would be trying to get back with him or follow him all over town or pine for him or feel some kind of way when he looks at me? No, if you had a knife up to my throat, it's a wrap. I'm done.
Yeah, they crossed the line for me on that. It's like, you can't come back to that relationship. That is just too bizarre. And she admits that her addiction is Julian. But I'm like,
that's true. Yeah.
Man, please, you're not doing yourself any favors.
He's a trigger.
That guy.
He's a trigger for her, and the further away from him she stays, the better.
Now we're learning a little bit about This Week in Port Charles, but we also got something. If you want to learn about life, love, relationships, everything you got to offer, we have got a podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos podcast edition. It comes out every Friday, so check it out. Maria Menounos, the woman who founded AfterBuzz, but along with Kevin Undergaro, she's got her podcast that comes out every week for free that you can subscribe to on iTunes. She'll have celebrity and influencer interviews, talk about life, relationships, money, finances, you name it, she'll talk about it. So it is all free to you. All you have to do is go to iTunes and subscribe, and when you do, tell Maria it was us who sent you. So Conversations with Maria Menounos podcast edition. Check it out.
That was a very smooth segue, Frank Moran. I have to give it to you on that one.
Don't have to. You don't have to. So we have tying up with our earthquake there before we hop over to another storyline.
Okay.
So we see Oscar and Jocelyn. They get brought in, and once Alexis finds out that Julian was the one that brought in her other daughter. TJ's like, oh, she got hit by a piece.
Molly.
I couldn't free her, and then Julian came in and carried her to the hospital. I like that Kim walks away after everything that's gone on with Oscar. Julian follows. They're in the doctor's locker room. They're at the hospital.
Yeah.
And then Alexis just shows up randomly.
But she always shows up randomly. Do you ever notice that whenever he's with Kim or whenever he's with anyone, Alexis always kind of shows up randomly? She's like, you remember how I was talking, I think it was either last week or week before last, how somebody will have a conversation on a soap opera and you'll see somebody else lurking around the corner and you don't know whether they're going to talk or not?
Yeah.
That's what Alexis does every week when it comes to Julian. It's annoying.
Which I can only imagine. I wanted to see the other scenes where she's walking around the hospital. Did you see Julian? Have you seen Julian? Have you seen Julian? It's like, why does she decide the locker room for a place that he does not work at would be the place to go looking for him first? But
Bless. Who knows?
So, and it's just always that awkward moment. Like you needed that moment. You needed to find Julian right away.
You know they're gonna get back together. They're having the awkward moment stuff, just like Jason and Sam had the awkward moment stuff. You know, eventually there's gonna be that moment where he's gonna be full on hot and heavy into Kim, and then something's gonna happen with Alexis, and that's gonna blow up, and it's gonna be a whole big thing. You know that's gonna happen.
But do you want to see them back together? I feel
No.
like they've ruined it so much with that storyline with the knife after the neck. Like I feel like
when he put the knife to her neck and was all of that, and then she remember there was a period of time where he wasn't there for real, and she was imagining that he was there. I'm like, so now you imagining he's torturing you in real life when he's not. I can't.
Yeah, they dug such a deep hole for Julian during the course of that storyline that it's like I have no vested interest in seeing those two reconnect.
I can't.
It's
And
so
I like
creepy.
those two actors. They're very fine actors. I just don't. I could care less about that storyline.
Nah,
Like,
just
whatever.
let's
I
just
can't.
let. Are you liking that? Well, I guess like Kim calling Julian Charlie all the time. You liking that little
I think
fun?
it's kind of cute. I think it's a cute little thing. It's it's their little thing. You know how every couple has their little thing. That's just something that's just between them. So that her calling him Charlie is their thing. That's their thing between them. That's cute. It's cute.
All right.
I could get with that.
So another storyline that they're talking about there was Mike.
Oh yes. Let me tell you something. When he had that conversation with Liz, where he confessed to Liz that the one thing that bothers him is the way that Sonny looks at him, because he knows that he's losing his memory and how scared he is. Somebody that is losing their memory, that is a hard. Oh Lord, I'm about to have a moment. Okay, hold on, let me get it together. Okay, someone that is losing their memory, the hardest thing for them to do is to admit that they're in trouble and for them to admit that they're scared. and as the person that's taking care of them, that's a lot. So the fact he's already in terms of his character, he's already taken a huge major step by admitting that he's scared. Because now that he knows he's scared, and now that he knows what the diagnosis is, then they can work together to work on that. But the thing that was really heartbreaking is that when he first started talking to Liz, he was like, "How's that lucky?" I was like, "Oh wow, really?"
Yeah.
That broke my heart. See, I'm all emotional. I can't take it.
But just to see, even like with Sonny and especially Carly, the way you got to be compassionate and patient with a person that's in that situation. Where the first time that they posed the idea of, well, one, letting Mike know that Rita is not waiting for him back in New York.
Baby, Rita bounced like a rubber ball, didn't she?
But,
wow.
I mean, we talked about this last week too. I mean, it's honest. It sucks, but it's honest. I mean, if she knows that she can't do this, she's got to leave.
Yeah, but I'm like, can't you have a little bit more empathy? Like, dang. Like, could you like leave some money for the bills and stuff that you ran up before you bounce? Like, I'm just saying, like, who gonna pay the light bill? You done ran up all them lights there for 2 weeks. You gonna leave a check? You gonna leave a check for the amount of electricity and coal and gas that you done used up in the apartment while he was gone to Port Charles? I'm just saying.
Yeah, but when he gets fired up about that, as well as the prospect of moving in with them, rather than just kind of like dismissing Mike, they take a beat. Mike kind of, unfortunately, just, he still gets a little addle-minded, loses track of that conversation, and they're able to approach it back again, and he's much more receptive to the opportunity of moving in.
Yeah, I agree with somebody in the, I agree with Charlie and Charles, Charlie and Charles, Charlie in Charge. I agree with the way that they're writing the storyline for Mike, because it is very realistic, and they're not rushing it. They're not rushing the storyline and how his progression of losing his memory is happening. Like, they're really taking their time to deal with it. And of course it's a soap opera, so there's only so much time they can take dealing with it. But I really like the fact that they're taking a really nice chunk of time to adequately deal with it respectfully, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
And Maurice Bernard, I know they're talking about it on social media. He came out and he posted about a script that he just read recently for General Hospital that was one of the best scripts that he'd ever read, and one that's going to be coming up. They're usually a couple months ahead of when it airs. So there's going to be some powerhouse parts of the story that Maurice Bernard is going to be able to sink his teeth into. It'll be exciting to see what that is.
I'm hoping that because Liz is the only person that he's actually confessed that to, I'm hoping that she becomes more involved in that storyline for him. That would be nice, that he has somebody that he can confide in that's not related to him. It's not Carly. It's not Michael. It's not Sonny. It's somebody that has nothing to do with the family directly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would really like for them to have her be that person that he talks to, because then again, this wore me out too. When I'm so emotional. Oh no, what's wrong with me? Okay. So when he said to her, the really hard part is I'm really gonna be sad when I look at you and I'm not gonna remember you. I was like, oh, Mike, you're wearing me out. Oh Lord, child, I gotta take my glasses off and wipe my eyes. Oh, okay. You can talk while I'm wiping my face.
Oh no!
Don't be looking at me making it more awkward than it.
No, Anthony's zooming in on this right now.
I hate you. I hate you so much right now. Okay, I gotta use my thing.
It is a challenge for every relationship that he's got, and it would be nice to, it was nice to have Robin in there just briefly at the beginning of this Mike storyline. It would be nice if she was around a little bit more to have some, because I always enjoyed the Robin and Mike dynamic, so to have them have some more conversations. But if Liz is, if Robin's not available, Liz is a nice acceptable.
Yeah, I think she's a good choice.
So we see the Mike, he came across Franco trapped in the trailer before.
Let's just pause there. Let's just pause about how many people came across Franco being trapped and nobody seemed to get him out.
Yeah.
Like, really? How many people have to pass past Franco? It's like watching a homeless person on the ground.
It is rough.
I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That made me laugh. I was just like, y'all are killing me right now. Why is he under this thing, and nobody seems to be able to get him out. Like, that was pure comedy to me.
They're like, oh,
It's
I'll
like,
be back.
okay, we'll be right back. And then none of them ever came back. That was the hilarious thing.
Yeah.
None of them ever came back.
Well, I did like Jason comes back after figuring it out from Mike, at least kind of piecing together from what he said. So he goes with Mike, or he goes to the trailer while Sam takes Mike to a shelter. And so it's just Jason and Franco right in there. Mm-hmm. And so you understand why it was necessary to have Sam come in, because as you saw, if nobody else had come to that trailer, Jason would have just left him there.
Oh, yeah. Jason would let him die. Jason was like, because Jason is still operating from 5 years ago. So he's like, yeah, you know what? You almost killed my wife, who's now not my wife. You almost killed my kid. Like, I can't with you. Bye-bye. See you. Bye, Felicia. He was done. Yeah, he was done. So
and, I mean, I do like that they don't pull it back, because once everything Franco's free and everybody's back at the hospital, that Jason and Liz talk about that situation, and Jason's like, yeah, I'm never gonna be able to get past this.
I feel like he's gonna snap as far as Franco is concerned. It's like, it's just a matter of time. It's the writing's on the wall. You can see it about to go down, because every time he sees him, he immediately mentally goes back to that time in his life, and he can't let it go for whatever reason, which is interesting to me. I'm like, why can't you let everything else go and you can't let that go? And I think it's because it has to do with Sam
and Michael.
And I think that's his. I think that's probably his way of trying to hold on to Sam until she confesses she loves him. So now he ain't got to hold on to it no more.
Oh, now he's gonna just let it go. Franco, you're the best, buddy.
He's not gonna say he's the best, but he'll let it go. If Sam asks him, this is the thing. If Sam asked Jason to jump off the Port Charles Bridge, he would jump off the Port Charles Bridge. So if Sam asked him, if she asked him not to do anything to Franco, he won't. But let something happen to Sam and Jason's relationship, Franco better watch his back. That's all I'm saying.
Well, so what's interesting is that, of course, My Two Dads leaves Franco trapped underneath that file cabinet, takes off.
You didn't. My Two Dads.
And then comes at the hospital the next time you really see him, that he's telling Sam and Drew, like, oh, you know what? You know, Franco remembered that he pushed you downstairs at 3, and I walked in on it, and I should have said something, but I didn't.
He's getting on my nerves.
He just throws him under the bus. But no time does Franco say he's not mad, but like, why did he just leave me? That hasn't been mentioned yet, and I'm waiting for.
But
Franco
everybody left him.
Well, yeah, but the people came back. Like, Mike left him, but he found help. So because he was an old man,
I'll give him that.
He couldn't do it by himself. Mike tried to, and he couldn't lift it up. He gave it his best shot, but he's an old man. And then we of course got Sam and Jason doing. But so far, Franco has not mentioned about Jim leaving him there under the file cabinet.
Miss Yaki said, "I'm putting too much faith in the writing." Miss Yaki, come on now.
Yeah,
them writers work hard. I told you those writers work hard on those soaps. They write about 100 pages a day. That's a lot of writing, and a lot of times it's people that have not been there for the whole 50 years that General Hospital's been on the air. So that's a lot to keep up with those storylines and be able to keep those characters consistent with their past and their present and possibly their future. Come on, Miss Yaki, you got to give them props for that.
Well, I want to talk about what the crux of this whole storyline is about, and that is Franco trying to figure out, did he push Drew down the stairs, or did something happen and it was really Jim, My Two Dads, pushing him down?
I'm kind of over that. Are you over that? I'm over it.
I'm
like, how many times do we have to see that flashback? The same way you're over that song, that's how I'm over that. I'm just like, how many times do we have to show that little boy standing? I can't.
But I'm also trying to think, like, I feel like this is what Franco does. He just focuses and obsesses about this one detail, that if it's going to be leaked out, it could ruin his whole life. And I feel like this event, when he was 3 years old, that he may or may not have pushed a kid down the stairs.
I'm feeling like he didn't.
But even if he did or did not, I don't know why he's making this such a big focus that he cannot tell Liz. Because
it's been proven in Franco's case that whenever he's told somebody or confessed something, it did not turn out well for him.
I don't know how
when he was on the up and up. Like, it turned out better for him when he just lied or didn't say anything.
Oh, come on. It's always blown up in his face when he hasn't said it. I mean,
not like it would with Liz, because he genuinely cares about her. Okay, look, which brings me to this. What about them flashbacks when she was in the church waiting for him to show?
No, enough of that. Trying to make me think that you're like some destined couple. I'm not buying into that. But okay, put yourself in Liz's shoes, and a man that you're about to get married to, he tells you that when he was 3 years old, that he may or may not, he could have, whether he did or not, he may have been responsible for a 3-year-old kid falling down the stairs.
Okay,
But you also know that Franco's track record, he's got a history of the brain tumor, all this stuff. Would you be freaked out with that?
Okay, first of all, saying I may or may not have been responsible is very different than saying I pushed somebody down the steps.
Even if he came out and said, like, I think when I was 3 years old, I pushed a kid down the stairs.
I'm just saying, if somebody that I was dating, possibly getting engaged to, possibly getting married to, possibly starting a family with, if they came to me and said they had pushed somebody down the stairs, I'd be like, and deuces, gotta go. I can't.
At 3 years old?
I don't care, because this is the thing. When you are, who you are as a person is formed when you're young like that. So if you're 2 or 3 years old pushing people down the stairs, guess what's going to happen when you're an adult? You probably going to end up being a serial killer. I'm just saying. Yeah. I don't think I want to marry a serial killer. I'm just saying. I'm really not trying to have that kind of life. Just saying.
But I also feel like at 3 years old, you haven't formed. I mean, your consciousness is still forming. You can't accurately remember that time period, whether it was done deliberately, whether it was done accidentally.
Look, I remember when I was 2 years old. I don't know about you, but I remember when I ran away from home when I was 2 years old, and I remember it distinctly. I remember it.
And you never went back. You were on your own since you were 2?
I can't stand you. Yes, I went back. That's a whole nother story to go into here. But what I'm saying is that I remember stuff that happened to me when I was 2, 3, 4 years old. I actually remember that more vividly than I remember what I did last week, which is kind of funny. But this is the thing. Little kids form their personalities very early on. And when you form that kind of personality that early on, that you are trying to incite violence with somebody else, that's not a good look. That's not a good omen for what kind of child and what kind of adult that person's going to be. I'm just saying.
But I feel like that rules out there's any possibility of redemption. Like, you cannot learn from your mistakes.
As a child, you can learn from your mistakes, but if there is an innate character trait that causes you to want to do harm to another human being, that's cause for concern as an adult dealing with a child that young. I'm just saying. And it's been proven that whenever I love watching those things like Snapped and those kind of shows. Whenever you watch those kind of shows, it's always been proven that somebody that does that, they had a problem early on when they were younger. What's somebody saying in the chat room? Are they coming for me?
Yeah. Yeah. Daisy Flower 40 says, yeah. He was 3, big deal. Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, I'm not going to hold something against when you're 3 years old.
Well, you asked me.
I did ask you,
and
that's
ask
true.
Me, so.
Carla would show you the door, lickety split.
I'd be like, deuces, bye.
That's right. All right. But I also feel like it's weird to have the conversation too, where she knows that something's weighing on Franco. Scotty's already said that he's holding a big secret. And she's like, you can just tell me. I know that what you and Kevin talk about is private, but it feels like you're really weighing on you. You tell me, let me help you with this. And he's like, I would rather keep this to myself. I think that it creeps me out more, knowing that as an adult, you're deliberately withholding something.
I think Jim pushed the child down the steps.
Well, yes.
I think he did it. I think that he did it to torture the mom. The original mom, I can't remember her name. Betsy. I think he did it to torture her because maybe he wanted to date her or marry her or something, and she turned him down or said something about him that hurt his feelings. I don't know what the case was, but whatever it was that she did or said, it really pissed him off enough that he wanted to inflict harm on one of her kids. And now then he disappeared for a minute, and now he's back causing all this drama.
Well, I feel like that is, you already kind of suspected it, but it was sealed, I felt, when he talked to Sam and Drew. And basically it's like, man, Franco did it, man. I don't know what's going on.
Because he's trying too hard to convince everybody that Franco did it. Yeah. That's one of the big flags right there. That whenever there's a character running around trying to convince somebody that somebody else did something, you know they're guilty.
Please get this done sooner than later. Talking about somebody else trying to mess with people's minds. We've got a little bit of Nell and Carly this week, where they're trapped at the gallery. Nothing major happens to them other than she has some Braxton Hicks.
They actually had a little moment, though. They had that little moment where she was having the kicks, right? Yeah. And Carly was trying to calm her down and tell her what to do to try to get through that moment, which I thought, okay, they're having a little breakthrough. And just when that moment was about to get extended, Sonny comes and saves them. I'm like, oh, I really kind of wanted to see how that was going to play out. I was like, alas, it will not play out this week.
And I don't know, like it was weird. Like they were making such a big deal about Michael's situation, but yet it just turned out to be absolutely nothing. Like
First of all, I'm gonna need Michael to sit his butt down when they tell you have a concussion, and he's like, "No, I gotta go find Nell and the baby." First of all, you don't care about Nell, you care about the baby, and you really gonna risk a concussion to go? Really? I don't think so.
it's
You're doing too much.
It's the same thing like with Sam leaving Mike with Elizabeth and saying, "I've got to find Jason." Like I think maybe of everybody in Port Charles, that is a one man that you can leave by himself and know that he's going to get through just fine. There's nothing you can do, Sam, except fall down or trip or do something. Oh yeah.
That
But
is pure comedy. I can't.
I guess she needed to because she talked him off the ledge about Franco.
See, look, okay. One love RSR said my mother remembers she hit a girl in the face with a plastic shovel in the sandbox when she was 5. Oh my God, I'm the child of a serial killer. I'm not saying your mama's a serial killer. She's not. But there's some people out there that do that are. I'm just saying. But your mama would not be one of them. So.
Oh, yeah.
How do your mama? And
Nicely
how
done,
do you
Carla.
too?
Nicely done. That's I will say the one thing I'm getting tired of with Maxie's story is just the way that they structure these scenes where Peter will show up, he and Maxie talk, somebody else comes in, or she will mention like, oh yeah, Faison's son, he's garbage. He needs to get what's coming to him, and then they always cut to Peter's face.
I know. I'm about sick of seeing that too. I'm just like, I need for him to confess at some point that that's who he is. I need for that to play out. But Charlie in Charge and Rena Sheen said that baby switching is impending with Maxie and Nell's baby. I totally see that coming too.
Yeah, I mean, you're
because that's going to be horrible if that happens. Horrible.
But I also figure like, I mean, I feel like there's
going
to be a bigger hook than just they swap the babies.
I mean, there's going to be some kind of major drama behind the babies getting swapped. Like, it's not going to be a regular swapping of the kids. It's going to be some major drama behind it.
You know, what I could see is, well, I don't know how you'd make it work, but if Nell lost the baby during childbirth, at the same time that Maxie was having her childbirth as well, and then swap it that way, because she feels like if you lose the baby, you definitely lose Michael.
You know what? That's actually very funny, because remember I said she looks like Rebecca De Mornay, and Rebecca De Mornay was in that film, The Hand That Rocked the Cradle, and that was the same situation.
Yeah, I mean, that lady continued
They're
to
gonna play
breast
out
pump
the hand
herself
that
so she could get that family.
They're gonna play out The Hand That Rocked the Cradle on GH. Ooh, that would be actually kind of fabulous.
You know, the thing that I remember most about that movie is Matt McCoy's beard. That thing went like almost all the way down past his Adam's apple. That was a delicious neck beard, guys.
Oh,
there you go. Things that stick with you.
That's gross.
Yes.
I don't like that.
Then we have Rena in the chat says if Maxie's child has the disease, then they will know. That's true.
That's true, because they're trying to figure out if the child has a disease now while she's pregnant, right?
Yeah, you know, again, and as I said last week, I'm heartless and I'm dead inside with Max's grieving process. But she keeps hitting the same beat, like, I don't know what to do. How can I do this by myself? She's hit that both with Nina. She's talking with Peter about that same thing. I understand, but let's just move on, please.
You know what? I rarely say this to you, Frank, but I kind of agree with you on that one. I'm like, okay, I'm tired of her saying that. Let's just, let's fix the problem and keep it moving.
Yeah, it's just I don't know why she's like wrestling so hard with this test. Find out the information so you can just live. I mean, this is your child's life that you've got to worry about.
Live your life and keep it moving. I can't.
So the fact that she's just hemming and hawing, just so we can get more shots of Peter August, everybody like trash talking Heinrich, and we get to see him like.
What I love is that whenever somebody's trash talking him and he's there, he gets the weirdest look on his. The thing that makes it funny is that he gets this really strange look on his face. Like if he was stoic when they did it, it would be okay. But he gets this look on his face like he's smelling stinky cheese or something. I'm like, I can't. Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna need you to fix your face.
They always cut to his face too. After somebody trash talks Heinrich, then it just cuts to his face.
It's like Heinrich.
Oh yeah. Kelly from BEI says Maxie is scared, Frank. Oh man.
I get that. Okay, look, Kelly. I get that Maxie is scared. I really do. But And I know that I said the grieving process takes a while and everything, but I find it really interesting that Peter is the only person that she's talking to about her grieving process. She's not talking to her mom. She's not talking to her dad. She's not talking to Nina. She's not talking to anybody else that has anything to do with Nathan except for this Peter August person, which part of me gets because he's not a relative, so to speak. So I get that. Sometimes you just want to talk to somebody that's not in your family because they have a perspective that somebody that's related to you won't. But at the same time, I'm like, you can find a little too much in him. You need to clamp them jaws shut. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it.
Just shut it down.
Just Maxie, please just get the test. Just get the test so you can just move on. I mean, I know it's good, it could be good news, it could be bad news, but you at least need to know the news to figure out what your next step's gonna be.
Right, and then Daisy Flower says, "Well, Peter was there when Nathan." Child, I know Peter was there when Nathan died, but still, that don't make him somebody that you want to confide in all your business. I'm just saying, like, that's just me. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So we do, on the nice side, we get to see something we never really get to see during their time together officially on the show. Was Andre and Anna doing a little adventure as they're trying to figure out more about Anna's supposedly missing daughter.
I think they're trying to push them together and make them a couple. What do you think about that?
I was down for it the first time Andre was on the show, so I'd be welcome if they tried to do it this time.
I want her to be with Finn, though. But Finn is all up in Alexis's Kool-Aid, so there's that.
I don't know. I mean, I think they're just like they're friends with benefits, and whether they do it again, they've already vowed it can't happen again, but they could lapse into a friends with benefits situation. I'll take Andre and Anna over Finn and Anna. I will.
I like Finn and Anna. I don't know how I feel about Andre and Anna. I like the actor that plays Andre though.
Good old Anthony Montgomery.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I just hate that for a minute they had him looking like 12 years a slave. I'm just like,
That was a dark day for him. So yeah, but we do find out, which we all knew, of course, that it wasn't a daughter that she gave birth to. It was a son. And of course, we have a scene with Peter/Heinrich saying his birth date. Cut to, we get the birth date announced over there in Anna and Andre scene, and it all lines up. So
yeah, I need for them not to be showing flashcards with every storyline. Like I would love to watch it sometimes and just be surprised at how it turns out. Because so far this year in 2018, we've been able to call everything.
Well, we can't call what Nell's plan is because I'm sure it's going to be disappointing. It's like, but it's going to, oh, yikes.
Oh, don't get me started on Nell. We don't have enough time.
Oh, man. But it seems like people, let's see, I think they're keeping Andre to say Finn's name. So
Anna and Griffin. Oh. Yeah. What happened to the rumors Griffin was Anna and Duke? You know what? That's interesting because for a minute they did say they were alluding to the fact that Griffin was Anna and Duke's son. Because he kind of sort of looked like Duke, the guy that played Duke for a minute.
Yeah, but I think Anna would know if she had a son. She would know that.
Please, she didn't know if she had a son or a daughter. So
she would know if she had Duke's son for sure. She would know.
She didn't know she had. She didn't even know she had a baby. Did she even know she had a baby?
She knows she had a baby. She just pushed it away. She kept that deep dark secret that only her and Valentine knew about.
I don't know. I like that they're trying to give Anna a little bit of storyline, but I need it to be a little bit stronger. One love is like, I told y'all Nell is making it seem like Morgan is alive.
It's still a dumb plan.
It's a dumb plan. No, it's still a dumb plan. I'm like, anybody would. Let's just do this. Let's just give Carly the benefit of the doubt that Carly knows that Morgan is not alive. But actually, that would be kind of fantabulous if he showed up. But wasn't he definitively found dead? Because so people come back from the dead all the time. Yeah.
No, they never found the body.
They never found the body. Oh, then
no,
he could
they
come
just
back.
found like some bits and pieces of things, but but no body was found. So I mean,
well, then he could come back.
He's gonna come back.
Maybe he was another one that was in that little Phazon dungeon that they were holding people hostage in.
Or he's got amnesia, or he's got some other soap trope that.
Or maybe he'll come back with a different name and just look like Morgan. Child, who knows?
He just wanted I wanted to use this time to kind of figure out who I was, and now that I have, I'm back. Yeah. We'll see. It'd be nice to. We'll see. I'm sure it's probably another year or so before we see a Morgan come back on the show.
No, I don't think it'll take that long. They're not going to drag it out that long. Do you really think?
Well, I mean, look how long it was for Steve Burton to come back, and I'm not even sure that. I mean, we didn't even think that was a possibility when
I know.
When Drew version came in.
We did. We were talking like he was never coming back.
Yeah.
His contract negotiations at that other soap opera must have fell through. That's why he came back to GH.
Yeah, you never know. Same thing like for Tyler Christopher. If his things kind of took a turn for the worst, and that's not saying that we want that to happen over days, and he left the show for whatever reason.
Oh my God. And he came back as Nicholas.
There you go.
I would be living my life. I would be living my entire life if that happened.
Yeah, I see if I could wrest Ava away from the arms of Griffin.
Ava's getting on my nerves. I love the actress that plays her, but ooh, her character is good. She's so needy. She's so needy, and she's another one always lurking around a corner, seeing something or hearing something. I can't.
Yes, but I mean, I could be understandable if you had major facial reconstruction and all of a sudden you've got another cut on your head. I guess I can see why you'd be panicked. You think everything's going to unravel on your face. And then all of a sudden, your face just unsnaps. And then, bam, there it is, all back to the old way.
Oh, my God.
Right.
No, first of all, you shouldn't be messing with your face like that anyway. She is, yeah, Rena, she is acting like I said that before, that she's acting like a bratty teenager. I'm like, you are a grown woman with children. Act like it.
Yeah, well, that's never Ava's strong suit. It's never been. But at least from the for the sneak peeks for this week's episode, we get to see her like, maybe we can make this last longer with good old Avery staying with Ava. Like, oh, please no more custody storylines. Done with you. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, I will end this with the perfect quote for this episode from Kelly, PEI. Frank, you're horrible. I couldn't have said it better myself, Kelly. I am a garbage person. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode of the GH Report. But as always, like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and thanks everybody for hopping in the chat and sharing your thoughts. But if you want to continue the conversation with us after the show's over, if you want to come for us, Carla, where can they find you?
You can find me across all social media platforms at The Curvy Critic.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It's a waste of your time, but go ahead and do it. At Happy Go Jackie. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us for this episode of the GH Report. We'll be back next Sunday night.
Yes, we will.
We will be, regardless if you come for us or not. We're going to be coming to you right back here next Sunday night on AfterBuzz TV. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.